Antonio, welcome back to my channel. Now who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to do a fight breakdown for Regis Prograis versus Jose Zepeda. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, basically what I do is I look at all the attributes of both fighters. I put them side by side and I run through their attributes, and whoever has a higher tally in the end, that's the individual I'm going with. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm going to start with experience. I'm definitely going to give that to Jose Zepeda. He has 35 fights versus Regis Prograis having 27 fights. And Jose Zepeda actually has 27 knockouts, which is the amount of fights that Regis Prograis has. So clearly, experience is going to go to Jose Zepeda. Power, I'm going to say that's a tie. Regis Prograis has 23 knockouts and Zepeda has 27 out of 35. So I'm really going to say that's a tie. I mean, you really can't say that one has more power than the other at that point. But let's just call that a tie. Both are heavy-handed. Both know how to finish guys if they see that their individual or their opponent is hurt. So we're going to call that a tie. Speed, I am going to give that to Regis Prograis. I don't necessarily think that he's a fast puncher or anything like that. I just think he has great timing. But between the two, I would definitely say he is faster than Jose Zepeda. Toughness, and hear me out with this. So I am going to give it to, actually, scratch that. This is going to be a tie. Now, look, I'm going to explain this. So it's a tie because Regis Prograis went 12 rounds with the unified champ. I mean, clearly, Josh Taylor. And depending on who you ask, including myself, I think that he won that fight, or more than warranted a second fight, a rematch with Josh Taylor, which he never got the opportunity to get. And then you have Zepeda, who was knocked down twice. And I thought that was very impressive that he was knocked down twice, gets up, and still wins the fight. So when it comes to toughness, I'm going to give it a tie. Arsenal. I feel like Zepeda is more of a boxer. You know, he likes distance. He likes popping that jab. He really likes the double jab. Every once in a while, he'll triple the jab. But I feel like because of his versatility, Regis Prograis, I mean, he can fight you in the center. He can fight you on the right, on the ropes. He can infight. He can box from a distance. It really doesn't matter to him. He has a great jab to the midsection. Beautiful uppercuts, hooks to the body. Zepeda doesn't really go to the body that much. You know, like I said, he's more of a straight punch kind of person. It just depends on the positioning. But Regis, from any position, I feel like he'll attack whatever he wants to attack. And usually he likes to go downstairs first and then walk upstairs with those punches. So definitely I would have Regis Prograis for an Arsenal. Footwork. Again, I'm going to give it to Regis Prograis. He's never really off balance or anything like that. I don't think he has perfect footwork, and I don't think he's the best at footwork. But when I look at Zepeda, a lot of times he gets off balance. You know, every once in a while he gets a little wild and he gets off balance. And because of that, I'm going to give it to Regis Prograis. Boxing IQ. Again, I'm going to give it to Regis Prograis. Yes, Zepeda has more fights. However, I feel like he's the same fighter in every fight. And I feel like when you're fighting Regis Prograis, he doesn't mind switching it up. He doesn't mind meeting you where you are. All right, you want to box? All right, let's box tonight. All right, you want to fight? Let's fight tonight. You know, so because of his versatility and his adaptability according to his opponent, I'm going to give that to Regis Prograis as well. Cardio and conditioning, definitely Zepeda. Regis Prograis, every once in a while, likes to just kind of hang out in the ring, you know, and if you put him on the ropes, he could very well take a nap there, especially if you get him in the latter rounds. I mean, he has a thing about that. So I always question his conditioning, and not every once in a while, but sometimes I think maybe he should just be fighting at 135 or something like that, because you do get tired in there, and I don't know why he gets tired, but he gets tired because it's not like he throws a lot of punches. So I really don't understand why he gets tired, but he does occasionally like to chill out in those middle rounds, you know, to preserve energy. Confidence. Again, I'm going to go with Regis Prograis, and that's only because look what he and Josh Taylor did in the ring. I mean, Josh Taylor is very big for the division. Josh Taylor could easily fight at 154. Easily. Josh Taylor could literally skip over 47 and go straight to 54. No problem. He's tall for the division. He's big for the division. And he was really big on that night. And, after the fight was done, Regis Prograis was like, he was big. He was just big. I couldn't get him out of there because he was bigger than me. So just because of that, I'm going to say the confidence. You took on the number one guy in your division, and you didn't get beat up. You didn't get embarrassed. Yes, Josh Taylor won, but like I said, arguably, I'm one of the people who firmly believes that Regis Prograis did more than enough to win that fight. Or, again, warranted more than enough to have a rematch. And I mean a quick turnaround rematch. Adaptability, again, I mentioned, boxing on the outside and being able to, just scrap it out up close and personal and just kind of lay on a guy's chest and just, dig in those hooks, go straight to the body and just slip shots the whole night. Regis Prograis. I think he's a more adaptable fighter. I think Zepeda, I think his style is good for the amateurs, because point fighting, because he's a busy fighter. He's all straight punches and he's very busy. And like I said, he'll triple up on a jab. So I think he's great for like amateur boxing. But, every once in a while, not every once in a while, on occasion, you're going to have to get in there and make it ugly. And he does get into scraps in the ring, but you can clearly see that's not his comfort zone. He wants to keep some distance and fight from a distance. Regis Prograis does not care where this fight goes. What worries me about Zepeda gets wild with his punches. If he feels like a guy is hurt, he doesn't breathe and take a moment, like a half a second or whatever, and collect his thoughts and like, what do I want to do to finish this guy off? He'll just start throwing wildly. And that's not going to serve you fighting Regis Prograis. He is great at slipping his head. I'll give Regis that. Great at slipping his head and counterpunching. And you don't need to be wild with Regis Prograis. You don't need to have wide shots with Regis Prograis. He also oversteps. Zepeda oversteps a lot. Again, because he likes to keep that distance. Sometimes he'll do one of these numbers and now his chin is like literally right there. And it's not like he can protect it because that front leg is literally all the way out there as well. So you got your lead hand out there, you got your lead leg out there, and your chin is just kind of right here in mid-space, unprotected. And that's not going to serve you, once again, fighting Regis Prograis. So, I hope they've been working on that. But from the last fight, you still kind of have that, and you need to work on that. What else do I have? Let's see. One thing that worries me about Zepeda is his mental toughness. Twice in his career, he has said that he was going to retire. And I think, and I always say this, once that thought creeps into your mind, it's not going to dissolve. It's not going to go away. It's not going to, yes, you can, the fire, I'm not saying the fire can't burn again. And I'm not saying you can't put new logs on the fire. But what I am saying is the thought will always linger there because you've already verbally said it. And if you've already got at least, maybe not even a foot, but if you got, I don't know, a toe out the door, then somebody like Regis Prograis is going to push you and is a real durable guy and ain't going anywhere. He's got a really solid chin, and he hits heavy. You could be like, you know what, screw this. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to go back out in that next round. Or, maybe I'll put myself out of my misery. I don't know. A lot of guys do it. So it's just a thought. And it's just something in the back of my head. I always say if you verbally say it out loud, it's one thing if you say it to yourself. Because when we're in a gym, we all say that. I don't know how many times I'm like, I don't know why I do this. I'm not even a professional fighter. Why am I going to the gym so much? Why am I staying so many long hours when I'm not a professional fighter? I'm not getting paid for this. And it's just like, but once you verbally say something like that out loud in front of cameras, I don't know. That's to me, that's always been like a telling sign that person, that fighter's days are numbered in the ring. Another thing that worries me about Zepeda is he'll let his opponent dictate the pace. Like, I don't know why he does this, but he literally will let his opponent just kind of dictate the pace. First of all, Regis Prograis is not a fast-paced fighter. So if you allow him to have his pace and kind of just pick you off for those big shots, it's not going to go well for you. Yeah, you're gonna double up and triple up on the jabs, but usually when you triple up or when you double up or triple up on a jab, that second jab or third jab is not going to be as hard as the first jab. That's number one. So if you do it, one, you're kind of just out there because you've already committed to it. And once he gets the timing on that, it's not going to go well for you. Once he gets the timing on that and he sees that you are firmly committed to doubling up on everything and tripling up on everything, I just don't see that going well for him. What worries me about Regis Prograis? He doesn't always show defense. And say what you want about Jose Zepeda, he can punch. And, I just feel like Regis Prograis, every once in a while, he'll just be like, screw it. I'm all offense, no defense. I don't care about that. And, listen, like, Zepeda can hit. He's heavy-handed. So you need to show some defense. Let's see. Oh, Regis Prograis will 9 times out of 10 fight with his hands at his waist. And I get it. You're comfortable. I get it. You may not respect the guy's power. I get it. He might give you a little too much respect in terms of spacing or whatever. But when you have a puncher in front of you, or at least somebody who's heavy-handed, you don't fight from your waist. Let's keep him up, just because he is a heavy-handed fighter and he is more of a classic boxer, at least between the two of you. So I don't necessarily think that he should fight from his waist. And he tends to do that. He even did that with Josh Taylor. And it's like, dude, pull your hands up. I get it. Maybe he doesn't crack that hard or, maybe you see the shots coming. But again, you're talking about a guy who will triple up on a jab. So something is going to slip. A right hand is going to slip through and you're not going to be able to see it. Actually, I think Zepeda's a southpaw. But still, nonetheless, something can slip through that you may not be able to see. So you need to pick your hands up. One thing that has always annoyed me about Regis Prograis is he relies on his toughness as much as he relies on his skill base. And it's just like, all right, well, you've never been knocked down or you've never been knocked out. That doesn't mean you can't be knocked down or you can't be knocked out. You should not rely on the durability of your chin. You shouldn't. I personally don't want to rely on the durability of my chin. No. And he tends to do that. He's a very confident fighter in knowing that I can take punishment if I need to take punishment. And I'm more than willing to get hit 3-4 times in order to crack you one good time. And I've never liked that about him. And, I like that in terms of being a boxing fan. Yeah, I like that. But if I were in his camp or if I were training him, I'd be like, that's something we really need to clean up. That mentality you have, that's something you keep in your back pocket when you have a tough fight like a Josh Taylor fight. That's not something you bring out every single fight because you shouldn't have to. So that I really don't like. And I think, going up against Zepeda, again, a guy that can crack, you need to check that because that's a mental thing. You need to check that. Well, the last thing that I don't really like, or what worries me about Regis Prograis is he'll throw like one punch at a time. And I'll tell you right now, if this goes to the scorecards, I see Zepeda winning all day if it goes to the scorecards because he's definitely going to outwork Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis will take a break. Regis Prograis is not going to throw a whole lot of punches. Unless he sees you're hurt, he's not going to throw a lot of punches. Unless he feels you have no punching power, he's not going to throw a lot of punches. Because if you have no punching power, he's going in for the kill. If he sees you hurt, he's going in for the kill. Then you'll see combinations. Then you'll see rapid punches. But if he respects your power and you're not going anywhere anytime soon, he's just going to throw like one punch at a time. And again, I don't think that's going to serve him that well against Zepeda, just simply because Zepeda is going to be doubling and tripling up on jabs. So on points, Zepeda's got this all day. Like I said, he's more of a point fighter. He has that type of style, and I don't think it's going to go well for Regis Prograis if they make it to the scorecards. But looking at my tally in the end, I have Regis Prograis. I think I have him for a knockout as well. Matter of fact, I don't think. I have Regis Prograis for the knockout. Zepeda's been down before, and on top of that, he's also questioned his future in boxing. And between those two things, I just got to go with Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis, he hits hard. He's very adaptable. Like I said, he can fight in the outside. He could also fight in the inside. He's a compact fighter, so he's not wild. He's not like a looping type of guy. He will occasionally do a lot of overhands, but again, that's if he sees that a guy is hurt. Regis doesn't get wild until, or he doesn't get, not wild, cocky in sense of, I'm getting this guy out of here, I'm getting him out of here now, until he sees the guy hurt. Again, like I said earlier, Zepeda overextends, and he can get sloppy from time to time, and that's not going to serve him with somebody who's as great a counterpuncher as Regis Prograis, who hits as hard as Regis Prograis, who has great timing like Regis Prograis. It's just not going to serve him. Listen, he's going to be sloppy, he's going to miss, Regis is going to make him pay. And I can very well see Regis putting him out of his misery, because that ain't going to fly. Not in this fight, not with Regis. Regis is not that dude. If he smells fear and he sees blood, it's over. He's going for it. 100%. Foot on the gas. That's it. I just have Regis Prograis for the knockout. I don't fully see this fight going the full distance. I could be wrong, but I really don't think so. I think at best we make it to round 10. But I have Regis Prograis for a knockout. And that's my fight breakdown / prediction for Regis Prograis versus Jose Zepeda. If you like what you're hearing, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel, and also tell a friend.